Hello. So, of course, my last video was talking about people's feelings in the aftermath of the Charlie Kirk assassination. And since that last video, I've continued to watch what's been going on. And uh, people have been talking a lot about the role of the internet and isolation and the typical stuff people talk about when they talk about a murderer, a shooter. Usually they talk about that stuff when it's a young white male. I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just being honest from what I see, because when it's different races, they don't usually talk about the role of the internet or blah 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 blah. They usually talk about other things. Like they might even talk about more about mental health. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying they always paint the person as like strictly a bad person. I'm just talking about they don't give as many mitigating circumstances when it comes to other killers. From my opinion, that's just my opinion. My opinion could be wrong, but that is my opinion. So I did want to just talk about a little bit about the internet and just a little bit about how I feel like sometimes we can uh, generalize stuff and that's not really good or healthy for a debate. Before I talk about that, though, I just want to talk a little bit about myself and what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying something new. I've been political for almost my whole life. Not really. I wouldn't say that. Since I've been able to vote, I've been pretty political. And I've also been pretty like analytical. I have an analytical mind, and I have a lot of opinions and stuff, and I kind of just kept them to myself and to my friends. But in this age of everybody's making podcasts and stuff and sharing their opinions, I'm like, why not? I don't know if this is going to go anywhere. If it does, that's amazing. If it doesn't, oh well, whatever. At least I'm just getting my opinions out there. So and also you could probably tell this video quality is not that great. I'm shooting this on my phone right now. If this becomes anything, I will invest into more higher quality, cameras and stuff like that. But right now, I don't see it as important because it might not be anything. No point in investing that money for nothing. So anyway, about what people have been saying about the killer and the aftermath of this stuff. So one thing that I hear that you hear a lot about these killers is, oh, he was lonely. This guy was not lonely. I mean, not in the sense that you would think about it. They showed pictures of him camping with his friends and stuff. He lived with his girlfriend, his trans partner. He had a spouse. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I know you can still be lonely with a spouse, but this is a lot harder. It's not like you just alone in your parents' basement or something like that. Like, he had a functioning social life. He also had a bunch of friends on Discord, which he interacted with a regular, like on a regular basis. So we can't just say, oh, he was lonely. That's the typical thing to say is, oh, they were lonely. They didn't have any friends. They didn't have any interactions. They blah 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 blah. But in this situation, we can't say that. He by all accounts, he wasn't a lonely person. And when it comes to the internet, like he was in some discords, but from what I hear, his discords weren't anything crazy. They weren't talking about murder or anything like that. And just in general, I look at the internet like the same way I look at capitalism, or the same way I look at like nuclear energy, nuclear power. It is it's just a resource, and it's a very powerful resource. And this powerful resource could be used for good things, as most of our advancements, which have come in like the last 30 years, have come because of the internet, or it could be used for bad things. But it's just a resource, and we can't sit here and blame a resource. It's like it's kind of like guns in a way. Like I believe in gun control to a certain extent, but the old adage like guns don't kill people, people kill people is true. If you just sit a gun on a counter with nobody ever touching it, nobody's gonna get killed by it. I mean, outside of some crazy thing happening, nobody's gonna get killed by it. But because guns have the power to kill people, that's why they need to be regulated. Just like capitalism, just like nuclear energy, all these things need to be regulated, just because of their what can happen. And so yeah, I do believe that you can do some very little internet regulation, but we can't blame the internet for this, just like we couldn't blame video games back in the day. You know what I'm saying? That used to be a big thing. Oh, video games are making people violent, blah, 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 blah. No, the heart of a lot of things in America is just that people are upset. And the reason our people are upset is because people feel the weight of late stage capitalism. People don't have prosperity. People don't they can't enjoy that American dream that everybody is reaching for. And because of that, it makes you on edge. It makes every little thing that much worse. It makes somebody's talking, being racist or saying stuff that you don't like. It changes from just an annoyance to something that makes you really, really upset. It changes immigrants from just, there's a lot of people who don't speak English, and whatever. It changes from an annoyance to, we got to get them out the country. Like, we got to do something. It takes away your empathy. It takes away your empathy when you don't see prospects for your future, when life is so tough, when you're struggling to make your next payment. It removes your empathy in a lot of ways. The root cause of almost every problem in America, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but the root cause is social economic status. That is the root cause of most problems in America, in my opinion. And I would almost say in the world. Like, if you look in Africa or in the Middle East, where you have like ISIS or you have these terrorist groups, a lot of that comes from social economic realities. Like, if people had good, decent lives, or they didn't have to worry about food or money and stuff, I guarantee you a lot of this stuff would not happen. People ain't joining ISIS, living a middle class life. I mean, well, some stupid Americans join ISIS, living a middle class life. But I'm just saying, in general, people care more when they feel like they are better off, or they're more taken care of. People have more empathy. Usually, I know there's a lot of billionaires who don't have empathy, but usually people tend to have more empathy when things are going good for themselves. And a lot of times people have less empathy when things aren't going good for themselves. And until we start looking at that, even if you take away guns, I think people go find ways to kill each other just because they're so upset. Until we actually take care of the root problem in America and in the Western world, really, until we actually pinpoint that and go after that and change that, it doesn't matter what the internet does. It doesn't matter what you see on the internet. It doesn't matter what you call the president. It doesn't matter what language you use. Until we take care of the true issue, we're going to have more stuff happen like this. And the real issue at the heart of everything is money. I know that, like I said, that seems far-fetched, but I'm telling you, the root issue at most things, the most problems in America, in the world, is money. So that was my opinion for today. I like I said, I'm going to do more. I'm gonna try to do a couple of videos and see how they go before I give up on this. But I kind of do just like voicing my opinion. Like I said, the quality of this It's trash right now. It's really trash. I know it's trash. You don't have to tell me that. But I appreciate you watching. If you like the video, I appreciate you liking it. And if you subscribe, or if you already subscribed, I appreciate that. And hopefully we can grow together, and I can keep sharing my opinions. Thank you.